All right, for this next example, you're going to want to make sure you have your graphing calculator. I'm going to walk you through the steps how to do an exponential regression. So the table shows the world population in millions for the given year since 1900. Use the exponential regression to estimate the world population in 2015. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our set of data and we're going to put it into our calculator. So in our calculator, the first thing you do is you hit Stat, which is right here. Then you're going to hit Edit, so Enter. And then we're going to put the years in list 1, and we're going to put the population in list 2. The way you do that is you do 1900, hit Enter, and then it goes to the next line. So 1910. So why don't you guys go ahead and pause the video and enter in all that data. Once you get all of list 1 done, you can just go ahead and arrow over to list 2 and then enter in the population for that. So I'm going to pause here and have you enter in that data. All right, once you have all the data entered in, you want to just double check that there isn't one list longer than the other. Okay, so all my data is entered in here. So the first thing we did, I'd probably write down the steps, is we went Stat, Edit, and then we went ahead and entered our list. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and hit Stat Plot and turn it on. So we're going to go Stat Plot, and we're going to turn it on. Okay, so I'm going to walk through those steps. So Stat Plot is above your y equals. So we're going to go second, Stat Plot. And right now it's turned off. I'm going to turn it on for plot 1. Okay, and then I'm going to exit that. So second, quit. And then from here, I'm going to graph this. Oh, I'm going to clear out any function I might have. I'm going to go to y equals and clear out my function here. And I'm going to graph it. And what I should do is I should be able to see the data that's provided here. Here's the problem. These are really big numbers, and this is negative 10 to 10 and negative 10 to 10. So I need to adjust my window. So then I'm going to go into my window and change my window settings. My X values are my years. So I'm going to do a little bit less than 1900. Let's just go 1890. And then I need to use this to estimate the year 2015. So I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 2020 and hit enter for my X. Now my Y values, I'm going to say my lowest, it looks like it's 1650. So my lowest Y min, I'm going to make 1600. And I'm going to estimate 2015. So I'm guessing it's going to be bigger than 6,080 million. So let's just go 7,000 for my Y max. And now if you guys go ahead and hit graph, you should see that there are these little plots on here. So these are my stat plots and they're turned on, so my data points are graphed. If you look at this, you should see that it is exponential. Okay, it doesn't make a nice straight line, so it is an exponential regression. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out the actual equation for this. Okay, so after we went ahead and turned our stat plot on, we changed our window. So we changed our window to match our data. Change window to match data. All right, now from here what we are going to do is we are actually going to come up with whatever that exponential equation is. So we are going to go ahead and go Stat, and then we're going to go over to Calc, and then we're going to hit 0 exponential regression. Okay, so we go Stat, over to Calc, and then there's all these regression lines. There's linear regression, there's quadratic regression. We want exponential, so that is 0, the exponential regression. So we go ahead and hit enter. And we want to make sure our X list is our list 1. That's what we put it in. And our Y list is list 2, so that's good. We skip over the frequency list, and then we want to store our regression equation. So the way we store the regression equation is when we are here, we go vars, and we go over to y vars and function, hit enter. And we're going to store it in our y1. Okay. So what this does is it's going to tell us the equation for this data, and then it's going to store it in my y equals. Okay. And then I hit enter one more time and I hit calculate. Okay. So this is my exponential equation. Okay. So I'm going to write that down. I think I have it. I won't be able to see it when I move my calculator on a piece of paper. So it says y equals a times b to the x. Okay, so it tells me a is equal to 8.079 times 10 to the negative 9th, and then it tells me b is equal to 1 point, I'm going to round to 3 decimals places, 1.014x. So if it were to ask us just for the exponential equation, it would be y equals, fill in your a value, looks a little silly, but it's 8.079 times 10 to the negative 9th, and then my b value, 1.014, and then to the x power. Okay, so there's my exponential equation. What my calculator had done when I stored that, when I stored the equation, was it put it in the y equals for me. Okay, so if I hit y equals, you'll see that that equation is written out here. Okay, now when I hit graph, you guys should notice that there is a line going through it. Okay, now that I have the exponential equation, I can actually predict what the population is in 2015. The way we do that is we get to calculate. So we go second, calc, and we want to do it for a certain value, and the value we want is for the year 2015. And I would hit enter, and here is the y value. So it is 6,944.2115. Okay. So the answer for this one would be the population in 2015 is 6,944 million people is the prediction. Okay. Once we went through this again, remember how we stored the equation? I didn't write down the steps for that. So once you guys did 0 exponential regression, we got to the store to store it. The buttons you guys had to push were vars. And after vars, you went over to y vars. And then you guys hit function from there. Ooh, sorry, got a little crowded. Function. So those are directions on how to do this. You have one of these on your homework. So just the same type of directions, but you'll be using different data for that one. Okay. And that is it for our exponential regression.